to be in quarantine with Sam Spade, who is the bass player and vocalist of a power trio, the Midnight Devils. How are you?
I'm doing great today. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. We should add you're in Nebraska, in the
Yeah.
US. So,
Yeah.
and your band is kind of spread out, isn't it? From what I can gather. You're in two. So tell us how that works.
It's actually 3 different cities is what it is. So I live in Lincoln, Nebraska, which is the capital of Nebraska. We're based out of Omaha, and our drummer Jimmy Mess lives in Chicago. So we are kind of all spread out, but it has worked really well. Actually, we just travel a lot and meet up. When there's tours, somebody has to ride on a Greyhound bus to travel to meet up, but we make it work.
Yeah, I mean, distances in the UK, for example, when you have bands where members live in different cities, it's not too big a deal. But in America, I can imagine the distances.
Oh yeah,
tremendous. So well done on keeping it together.
We're like 8 hours apart.
Yeah. People that aren't familiar with the Midnight Devils, here's a little description. You're a high energy, glam slam, boogie woogie, rock and roll band out of Omaha and Chicago, which we've just established. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your influences.
I grew up listening to Kiss. It's really plain and simple. Kiss was the band that broke the doors wide open for me. And growing up in Nebraska, there's not a whole lot of people that are into the same style of music. There's not a lot of glam rock dudes rolling around here. There's not a lot of long-haired guys playing rock and roll music around here. But it's what called me and what spoke to me. And I really wanted to kind of create a band that brought that theatrical look, the presentation, the pageantry, and mix it with the other stuff that I had been into, which was punk rock and old classic rock, and mixed all these kind of art forms together, these genres of music. And luckily I got hooked up with our guitar player Chris, who's just this Eddie Van Halen nut and studied Eddie Van Halen.
Oh my God, your guitar player, he's got some skills, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I've been listening to your album quite a bit, and he is really quite incredible.
Yeah, he's the musical leader of our band, and it's really where he holds us all very accountable and very responsible for knowing our songs and doing our show to the best of our abilities. Every time we walk up on stage, it's professional, and it may look like it's out of control, and that's what we kind of do is we ride that line of chaos every show, every night. Is basically when we get together, we walk through those doors, we kind of know that it's going to be a little bit of insanity, but that's what we're looking for.
Yeah, I mean, you wear the makeup on stage. There's the obvious comparison to Kiss. Does that worry you a bit that people might compare you to older bands? I mean, obviously you've got that classic rock sound. And is it hard to find new and fresh ways of being yourselves on stage without people feeling you're trying to imitate or emulate something from the past?
That's an awesome question, really. And it's not so much with Kiss as it is with bands like Steel Panther or even Motley Crue when the Dirt movie was put out. You know, people see us and they automatically think, oh, these guys are like Steel Panther or these guys are like Motley Crue. And I say, you know, we love those bands. We were influenced by those bands, but we're nothing like Steel Panther. We're not a joke band. We don't take things as seriously. You know, everything's fun and everything's a party. And we're not an 80s hair metal band. We call ourselves a glam rock band because that's what we do. We go out there and we make it look really good, and we bring that atmosphere of fun, of doing whatever you want, making it look as good as possible. And I kind of tell everybody, the thing is we take everybody in. The people, you know, whether you're gay, straight, drag queens, drag kings, anybody that's into this, once you see it, you get it, and you go, oh, I know these guys are all about rock and roll and having fun no matter what your lifestyle choice is.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you about the rock and roll lifestyle, because I asked recently on Twitter, do the bad boys and girls of rock still exist? Are they still out there? And I noticed something on your Facebook page or one of your socials. It says the Midnight Devils mix of rock and roll, sexuality and depravity are the perfect combination. So yeah, the depravity bit is what I want to concentrate on here, because the rock and roll bit is evident, obviously. Sexuality, I'm not even going to comment on, but depravity. I mean, do you live that kind of lifestyle?
Absolutely. It's like that every night that we're out there. And we've done tours where the very, very punk rock tours where it's like you're driving in a van every day of the week, sleeping in people's hotel or sleeping in people's basements or couches or whatever, and we really live it. That's real life, and the way that we look is the way that we look off stage and on stage. So it's kind of like an extension of of ourselves. We just kind of amp it up when we get up on stage, and really, if you've seen our shows or if you come out to our shows, you know that there's going to be a party somewhere and that there's going to be a celebration, whatever it is, wherever it's going to be, whether it's at the show, whether it's after the show, whether it's in the green room, the dressing room. We're going to be who we're going to be. We're going to party. This is what we're going to do, and people kind of are starting to realize that. And I think, and it's not necessarily bringing bad boys back. That's definitely not what we're going for.
Yeah.
We're going out there and having fun, doing what we want to do. And I don't think bands have enough balls these days to really do that, to step up. Who's going to step up and put on pink lipstick in this day and age? You know, guys got to have big balls to do it. And we're the ones that are going to have no problem with it.
Okay, so you put on pink lipstick, you're partying.
Yeah.
Are you trashing hotel rooms? I mean, where's
not anymore. Not anymore. I gave that up. I only did
TVs
that
out windows, you know.
one time. I did that when I was very young, and we got a terrible, like a huge bill from the hotel room. The cops were called, and I learned my lesson from the first one. I never did it again.
Okay. You recently signed with Pavement Music. I don't know how recently that was, but congratulations on that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your tour that you did with the UK band, the Choir Boys. So tell us about how that came about. I mean, have you been fans of theirs over the years? And I know that the tour was sort of interrupted because you're only touring with them for a couple of weeks. I think it was just early March before sort of lockdown struck us all. But tell us about the tour.
Yeah, I was fans of them. And the coolest thing is that when I was a kid, I got one of those. They used to have these VHS tapes that were called Hard and Heavy. I don't know if you got those in the UK or if you remember them. I somehow stumbled.
VHS tapes, but
they were like I don't know what they were. They were video cassettes that promoted all these bands, and so all these 80s bands. Choir Boys was one of them, and I remember being as a kid. Choir Boys were playing Donington. They were like opening up the show. I thought they were fantastic. They totally had the Rolling Stones swagger and everything. They're just this great rock band from the UK, but I didn't know much about them besides what I had on the VHS tape. Fast forward 25 years later, I see that they're coming to the States, and I hit up my management. I go, get us on this tour. I really want to be with these guys and travel with these guys. Management couldn't do it, so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to email their manager and make something happen. Nobody's going to give you anything. You got to go out and ask for it. Very true. I just asked, and we got the tour, and I was just blown away. We only got half initially. We got the back half of the tour. Yeah. And a week before it was supposed to go out, their management calls me up and says, look, the other band can't do it. We need you guys in Salt Lake City in 3 days. Can you pack all your stuff up and be there? And I was like, yes, absolutely. We'll be there. We'll drive across the country. We got to start this tour. So like we kind of, said our goodbyes to everybody here at home and went out on this tour and had no idea that the world was going to end in the midst of this tour, that we would become, and the tour was incredible. On paper, it doesn't work. The Choir Boys and the Midnight Devils, we're kind of different. We're in the same genre, but different. But when they put us on stage together, we became friends. We mixed really well. The shows were incredible. And I didn't realize how much of a powerhouse the Choir Boys actually were. And they came in and knocked it out every night of the tour. They were just unbelievable.
And do you have any plans to come and tour the UK?
I can't talk about it yet. If you can see.
Okay. So what we should do is check your website, themidnightdevils.com, for any updates, right?
There's updates. That's good. I'm so excited, but I can't talk about it yet.
Okay. Well, if you're excited about it, then
you're right.
That answers the question.
There's foreshadowing going on, and it's hopefully sometime this year.
Sometime this year? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very exciting. Very exciting. Where's your favourite place that you played?
This year?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, where did we go this year? We just got back from Denver. Denver, Colorado. We just got back from there. That was a really fun show. We did a festival that I'd always wanted to play, and we got to play with a band called Hurricane Alice, which was a band from Minneapolis from the '80s. And we love going to Denver for some reason. It's just a whole nother world out there. And as you know, we're legal there, so everybody's just smoking joints and having fun. And it's something about the creative environment of Denver really
Wow.
speaks to me. It's like the venues are there, the promoters are there, and in that section, like that town, there's more rock bands than anywhere else. So I love going to Denver. I don't know what it is.
I just realised how little I knew about Denver because
Yeah,
everything you said was completely new to me. So
yeah,
that was quite interesting.
yeah. And
But
and
thank
you
you.
gotta see the mountains. It's like you're out in the Rocky Mountains. You can see the mountains from the venue that we're at.
Oh, that sounds spectacular. Now you had your debut album,
Hmm.
which you released 2018. So that was Something Bigger,
Correct.
and you're going to be releasing your second album. So what can you tell us about that?
The next album will be coming out sometime this year, I believe. What we decided to do when we got the Choir Boys tour, we had plans of doing a record after that tour got over. Well, since the tour got over and lockdown happened, we kind of had to rearrange our plans. And we decided that we were going to really make a jump on this record and try and push this record as far as we could. The first one was done on the low budget. We released it ourselves.
Mm.
Then in March, we got signed to Pavement Music. So we're like, man, this is it. This is the push that we needed. So we decided that we wanted to have Chips Enough from Enough's Enough produce the record. We
Mm.
went out to his house. We got all the songs done. We demoed all the songs in Nebraska, sent them to Chicago so that Jimmy could learn the songs. And then we traveled from Omaha to Chicago, met up with Chip, and started laying the tracks down. And it's been the coolest thing ever. And a dream come true hanging out with one of your musical heroes, like
Yeah.
at his house and just sitting there uh, drinking coffee with him at his coffee table. It is the coolest thing ever. And all these stars will come by and Chip will play the songs that he's working on with us. And we're just like, man, this is one of those things like pinch me, I must be dreaming. It's coming out great. We're gonna be having a guy mix and master it. His name's Chris Diamonds, and
Mhm.
and he helped produce the Kiss 1992 Revenge album. So
Right.
automatically, I'm like a huge nerd. I'm like, whoa, this guy produced the Kiss record. That's the coolest thing ever. How did we get so lucky?
Amazing. I want to ask you something about your drummer. Just something that I was wondering about. So it's
Sure.
Jimmy. I noticed that
Yeah.
you described him as indestructible on one
Yeah.
of the socials. What happened for him to get that description? I mean, to
He
get
he is an anomaly of a human being to
right.
where he, he is in a glam rock band. He looks awesome. He functions well. But this guy is just, he can do everything and anything all at the same time where he doesn't sleep. He'll go out all night and hang out. And he has the craziest, the wildest stories. He was actually, Sniper and Jimmy are both veterans, Army veterans. They both served overseas
Yeah.
and they came back and decided they wanted to play in a rock and roll band. So kind of sitting in a bus listening to the guys tell stories, I get goosebumps even now, like listening to their stories of being overseas and being, in the war and being in the thick of it. And these guys come back and now we're all hanging out. And Jimmy's one of the coolest dudes I've ever met. And his love for rock and roll really makes me love it even more. So we kind of are buds and we bounce ideas off each other. And it's really cool. He has no boundaries. It's cool. We sleep in the same bed together, like in a hotel and everything. It's just too much. But he's really one of my best friends.
Oh, that's lovely. That's such a nice thing to say. Sorry, I'm just tearing up a little bit. It's so nice to hear people in bands saying such lovely things about each other. Um, you are scheduled to join the Japanese metal band Loudness
Yes.
as support on their US tour, and that's later this year. So do you want to tell us how many dates that is and when exactly, where people can see you or get tickets?
Yeah, it actually that tour got pushed back to February of 2022.
Ah, so that's now
Yeah.
rescheduled to February.
Yeah, they're coming here in support of the Monsters of Rock cruise. So once the cruise happens, then they come back to the States, and then we'll join up with them in early February. But it's a month-long tour, and it goes from New York to LA and ends at the Whiskey. It's really like a huge tour that I think is going to be a blast, an absolute party.
And lastly, I want to talk about your merch, because I always love to look at the merch stores of the bands that I interview. And I noticed something I really liked. It was the bass string bracelets that you do.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've got guitar strings that were given to me by an amazing guitarist. I was just wondering, like, what should I do with them? Should I have them made into jewelry or something? So, these are great. You've got two different kinds. And you also do something called the Go Ahead, Put It In koozie. Now, what is a koozie? I was looking at this thing, wondering if it was something rude, and knowing that I had to ask you about it. And I thought, is it just a bag to put stuff in? Or is there something else that I shouldn't
It's
ask?
the thing that goes over the sleeve that goes over your can.
There's a sleeve that goes. This is all new to me again. So
Yeah.
Festival Denver, and now a koozie. This is something I've never heard of.
American thing, yeah. It's what you put over your can to keep the can cold and to keep your hands from being cold.
Well, that's brilliant.
It is.
That's what it is, because it was a weird shape. And I just couldn't figure out what it was. I thought a bag wouldn't be that shape.
You write stuff on it, and people go crazy over koozies here in the States.
Yeah.
Like, collect them and things that. So we thought make one as annoying as you possibly can, so that when you're walking, people are walking around, you can see it. You know, you're like, that guy got a koozie.
Right. I've never seen that here. I'm gonna speak to a few bands that I know in the UK and say, this is what you need to add to your merch.
So what you're saying, if we're potentially coming to the UK sometime, I need to bring a bunch of koozies with me.
Yeah, but make sure you like put a little description of what they are. You know, like if you're at a buffet, you might have little cocktail sticks with a little name of the food in it. Do that kind of thing, but a bit more description. what it's called and what it actually does.
And the bass string bracelets are really cool. I have a buddy that just makes them here. I take the strings off my guitar, I give them to him. I
love them, yeah.
And he winds them all together and puts cool beads on them, and they sell like crazy. People love them, and it's a really cool part of a piece of history that you can actually purchase that we played with on tour.
That's brilliant, yeah. And I think I will send mine off. I've had it now for must be over a year. And I just don't know what to do with it. And it's just sort of sitting there. I thought I might as well make it into something that I can at least wear or, have on me. But yeah, so I love those things. And I'm sure the rest of your merch is equally awesome from what I've seen anyway. So I just wanted to wish you all the best of luck with your album. I'm very excited about the idea of you coming to the UK. Even though I know it's all very
allegedly.
So we'll keep an eye on your website, midnightdevils.com, and on your socials. Are you on everything?
On everything, we are. Yep, and especially with streaming music, although I don't advocate using Spotify or using anything like that, we are on there. If you like the songs, buy the records. As many people know, Spotify doesn't, necessarily pay their artists, compensate their artists for what it's worth. Our debut video is on YouTube. We shot it at a strip club here in Nebraska.
Pink Halo, am I right?
What's that?
Pink Halo?
Pink Halo, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and the video's great. We have glitter, kilos of glitter cocaine that we used in the video that we had. I got one in the back here that was saved as a prop, but it's the coolest. I had somebody make glitter cocaine kilos.
Well, it sounds like you have far too much fun. So I'm very envious, and I'm going to go now and make the dinner. You enjoy your day. You still got the whole day ahead of you. So have fun, whatever you're doing. Take care. Lots of love to you and the rest of the band. I really like your album. Looking forward to the next one.
Thank you.
And we'll see you soon.
Yes, sooner than you think. So.
Excellent. Can't wait. Take care. Lots of love.
Bye.